Welcome in to Chatterbox Bearcats, the midweek show. I'm your host, Nick Niehaus, joined always by Eric Lilly. It is game day. Finally here. The Cincinnati Bearcats taking on the Nebraska Cornhuskers tonight at Arrowhead Stadium at 9 o'clock. Lilly, are we excited or what? I mean, we haven't talked much all summer since the portal closed in basketball season. I'm waiting to get some takes off. I'm ready for tonight. I've been waiting for this day. How excited are we?
I was pumped about this matchup for a while. I grew up liking Nebraska. The Colorado rivalry has always been cool to me. But about a month ago, it kind of died down for me. But this week, something happened. I've got the butterflies. I'm nervous. I'm seeing all this chatter. Like this is a huge game, and it doesn't feel like, if you read stuff online or listen to Nebraska podcasts, it feels like we got no shot here, Niehaus.
Yeah, it certainly does. It definitely does. I was going to start off with this. Like, it feels like there is no buzz. Let me put it this way. If you go outside of the city of Cincinnati, it feels like there's no national buzz regarding this Bearcat team. Like, I'm going on your Twitter today or yesterday, actually on Wednesday, and Brendan Sorsby's not listed as a top 50 quarterback in the country, according to whoever that was. I don't even care who it was. Like, it's irrelevant. But Brendan Sorsby's not a top 50 quarterback.
50.
And then and Joe Royer, like, it was NFL ready tight ends. He wasn't in the top 8. And the only guy who's getting any praise is Dante Corleone. Like, if I'm Satterfield, I'm firing these guys up. Like, nobody thinks you guys can go into Arrowhead tonight and win this game. There is nobody talking about the Cincinnati Bearcats this year. I guess that's what happens when you have back-to-back bad years. But, like, what's going on? It's crazy to me that here we are going to the playoff less than 5 years ago, and nobody cares about the Bearcats outside of Cincinnati. It's like we're going to go 3-9 or something this year.
I think we got to call up our PFF guys about that tight end list, right? Like, that's a little disrespectful to Joe Royer. He's in town here. Come on. Joe Royer is going to have a monster year. Some guy named Colton Joseph from Old Dominion's on this top 50 QB list. The Ohio's QB. We have Aguilar from Tennessee here. Navy's quarterback, like James Madison's quarterback. Like, come on. Sorsby's top 50 QB. I'm sorry.
I love it. I got to say, I love it because you can have that chip on your shoulder. And guess what? You have the chance to prove everybody wrong week 1 on a national spotlight. Like, you've been talking about it all summer long, how this is an insane TV slot for the Bearcats. And we have a chance to go and beat a Big Ten team basically on the road. I know it's technically a home game, which is hilarious, but I love it. I love that everybody is doubting our Cats. Are you doubting our Cats?
I'm not. I'm a little bullish. If you're not bullish at this time of the year, then you're a doomer. You got to at least enjoy this part of the season. There's enough talent returning and enough questions. Now, obviously, those questions can be bad, but like at this time of the year, have some fun with it. We have a bunch of new DBs here after our DBs were horrible last year. We have a completely new, deep, revamped defensive line after they were decimated last year, and our star defensive lineman was recovering from blood clots in his lung, which is a big injury. Great piece on ESPN today, by the way, on Dante Corleone. If you get a second to read that before the game tomorrow night or tonight, whenever you listen to this, awesome piece by David Hale. You can go to the Bearcat Bunch feed if you want to see that article. It's probably a 5-minute read. Great stuff on Dante. And then wide receivers. They were crap last year. We got a bunch of new ones. It doesn't mean it's going to be great, but like this is the time to dream a little here, guys. These receivers are fast, they're quick, they're taller. I don't see one guy under 5'9" here except Dakari Anderson. So last year there was about 5
Thank
of them.
goodness.
So this is reason for optimism right now on August 27th.
Well, how do you feel about the Nebraska game specifically? I'm somebody, everybody's been asking me. I don't want to say everybody's been asking me like I'm some sort of Bearcat guru, but the people who have been asking me are asking about tonight's game, and I simply have no idea. I don't think I'm in the camp where we're going to go in and we have absolutely no chance against Nebraska. Like no disrespect to Nebraska, but like if you listen to their fan base, you would think that they've been to back college football playoffs. And that's, good fan base, right? But this is easily a winnable game. Like, I don't want to say easily. It's a winnable game.
You're within a touchdown in Vegas. Those upsets happen all the time.
The way it's talked about, you would think that there's no chance that they go in and win tonight. I don't know. Like, it's one of those things where I'm kind of like scared to have a take until I see at least one drive, right? Like I need to see us on the field. Like I've been saying for a few months that I think our team is very top heavy. And that's simply just because I don't know some of these guys outside of our superstars. And nobody does, until we see them. We're in a new day and age where everybody transfers in. Like, we're a transfer program at this point. So I got to see it. So I feel scared making a prediction. I think we can win. I'm not saying we're going to, but I believe in Brendan Sorsby. I really do. I've said it so much that like, I just don't think that collapse at the end of the year was technically or necessarily on him other than the West Virginia game where there was just some bonehead plays. And I like the guys that we brought in at wide receiver. And I like Joe Royer and I like Dante Corleone. Like, we have some real good talent on this team. And Satterfield has not shied away from saying that this is the best team he's had at Cincinnati. I mean, he said it multiple times. He said it again this week. So I feel good about tonight. But again, but do I? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I think I do.
I'm kind of with you there, though. Like, I'm confident in UC. I'm bullish on UC. I don't know how I feel about Nebraska. We hear the Nebraska hype train every offseason, and, I respect their program and I love their jerseys, classic program. But Dylan Raiola got sacked 27 times last year. 13 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He's a true freshman last year. One of the highest rated recruits ever. I don't think that means you can just he's going to be say he's going to be a star to start the second season. Like, I need to see it. Just like we need to see UC, there's so many questions in this game. And I think that's why we have that weird feeling of like what we don't know what to expect almost. But look at he got sacked 10 times more than Sorsby. And you listen to Nebraska podcasts and all they're talking about is how bad our O-line's going to be. When everything we hear as UC fans, obviously there's coach speak involved here, but they don't seem worried about the line. I'm pretty sure the line's not going to be any worse than it was last year. With Joe Cotton at left tackle, our biggest leader on the team, Gavin Gerhardt, is back at center. We're old. It's not like we have some redshirt sophomores jumping in there. These are old guys. They're ready to go. And then you hear Nebraska fans talk about our DBs. Fair play. They were horrible last year. We got a bunch of new ones though now. Like it's just last year is not this year for Cincinnati, and it isn't for Nebraska either. Their D-line is more than half of the guys in the rotation are underclassmen. We can say the same thing to them that they can say about us. And I honestly I think the biggest difference in this game is going to be they have a home crowd and we don't. Sorsby's
for a home game.
Sorsby's more experienced than Raiola. Maybe that's another angle. But yeah, I really don't think this is if we win, I don't think it's this massive upset, even though the media definitely would do that because they love to pick on Nebraska fans. But it should be a fun game. I think we'll at least get 3 really good quarters, no matter how the game goes.
This is about as unsure of a contest I've felt going into like either football or basketball, a UC game in recent years. Like obviously
I can't remember anything.
that. Yeah. I mean, well, think about it. You have warm-up games essentially in basketball and football typically, you know what I mean? At least we have, where you're playing, G5 or, buy games in basketball. And it's like, okay, I know what I'm getting with some of these guys. We don't know what we're getting with any of these guys. Like Sorsby was really good, then he wasn't. Royer showed us that he can be really good. He only had 3 touchdowns last year. Corleone is the only guy that we know. This guy is an absolute stud. And somehow he keeps coming back. Matthew McDoom, everybody loves him. He was at Coastal Carolina. I would
and
love for those
5'9",
guys.
Yeah.
We got to get 5'9". We got to list him at 5'10". Just list him at 5'10". I don't even care. But my point being is I think all those guys are really good, but I don't know. We need to see it tonight. We really do. We absolutely need to see it tonight. I'm very excited. What do you know about Nebraska for all the Bearcat fans listening that haven't done any research, on Nebraska? So strengths, weaknesses, what should we expect?
In terms of weaknesses, it isn't like a surefire weakness because, I just broke down how they're talking about some stuff about us that could be wrong, but their defensive line is young, like I just mentioned, and they're a defensive line program. So a lot of people are saying it's Nebraska D line, they'll be fine, but that's not how I look at stuff. I don't think a logo does that necessarily.
Unless
more than half. I'm looking at it right now.
Xavier in a crosstown shootout making absolute scrub threes against us. That's the logo that does it.
Or Iowa tight ends.
Yeah.
We got to respect that, right? But their D line's really young. Big questions here. Their defensive backfield, lots of questions. They're not young though. A rookie defensive coordinator. They lost their coordinator to, I believe, Florida State, who was a stud. And Florida State had a rough year, and they're just we got to back up the Brinks truck and try to do something here to flip the vibes around. Another thing I've mentioned already, but Raiola, obviously we most realistic fans who don't want to have hot takes will say he's probably going to be really good, but we don't know if it's going to start that way. He could easily, this is his true sophomore season. A lot of 5-star quarterbacks don't get good till their 3rd year. A lot of them don't get good till halfway through their 2nd year. So in terms of weaknesses, that's what I'm looking at, is maybe they're just not ready right now. Maybe that's a team that needs to be playing a couple cupcakes their first 2 games. And they have 2 of those after us, that's for sure. But the guys I'm worried about is Ja'Cory Barney. He's probably their top receiver other than Dane Key, but also a dynamic special teams guy. We've had special teams problems in the past. Something we haven't talked about much this summer on this podcast is Kerry Coombs is gone and we have a new special teams coach. Everything you hear about on the program right now is this new coach is a stud. Everything's going great. That doesn't mean he is though. Off-season hype is, you always hear it. You could have a 2-10 team and you'd be hearing good things right before the season if the coaches know how to work things,
Well, keep going. I was sorry for cutting
no. One of the Marquez Watson Trent at linebacker is he's a little undersized, but he's a transfer from Georgia State or Georgia Southern or something. Mm-hmm. That people are really excited about. Is a dynamic, smaller linebacker that just covers ground and smashes people. So I think linebacker-wise, they're looking really good, which is kind of like us. We have a good linebacker room. So, but again, they don't have any clear things we should be truly scared about. This feels like if it was on a neutral field in Alaska, that the spread would be 4, 3.5.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned how the hype train in the offseason, just how that goes. And like one thing we were hearing is just like how bought in these guys were, right? And that was early. That was like a while ago that we were hearing like the culture is different. And I hate the word culture because like everybody can say it and who really knows what it means. But like that is one thing we heard is that the culture is different. So like I know I mentioned it off the top, and I don't know if I even got my point through because I'm word vomiting. But
That's me.
Chip on the shoulder. I think these guys are going to have a chip on their shoulder tonight, and I hope that leads to some execution. Like, I think Sorsby probably, like, these guys are all online. Like, they're college kids. Like, we've seen it pretty well recently that, like, these college kids are online. They see what's written about them. They see what's tweeted about them. They see what we're saying. I mean, Victor Locken was on our podcast last year as a call-in. Like, these guys listen. And if I'm Brendan Sorsby, I'm seeing that I wasn't listed as a top 50 quarterback. I'm like, I have a chance to show the entire country tonight who I am and what I can do. So that's what I'm hanging my hat on, is that the superstars are going to step up and we're going to find out who some of the other guys are. Like, I think we're going to be, I don't want to say top heavy because I don't know how good these other guys are. Obviously, it's week 1, but Sorsby, Royer, McDoom, Corleone, Golday.
Those are the names right there.
Yeah, like let's see it. Let's see it, guys. Like step up. Like have a chip on your shoulder. Nobody believes in you outside of UC fans. Like nobody does. So, yeah.
The opportunity here, like we talked about how big of an opportunity this is for like Satterfield to like start with a blank slate almost. Like if he wins this game, it's like we got a month of party in here if you look at our schedule. And there's going to be a hype train. Everybody's going to be happy. And he'll have a new slate from this one game. But like from what you're talking about here with players, think about it with these new receivers. If we win tomorrow, there's a pretty good chance that Cyrus Allen, Caleb Goody, or Jeff Caldwell is like the talk of the town in Cincinnati. One of those wide receivers that we're all like a little, curious about. We don't know who the number one guy is going to be. And that's just a huge opportunity for all these players. And think about on the defensive side, Corleone can reestablish himself after having the health scare last year with a monster game in front of the whole world. His draft stock could shoot up instantly. Jake Golday can take that next leap that we know he's going to take. And then the DBs. We have a ton of new DBs. Between Christian Harrison, Rodney Harrison's son. Like, that's somebody people will talk about if he has a good game. There's just so much that can happen in the next 24 hours, with UC football. And everybody's watching, including all the Swifties.
That's right. We're going to see if Travis Kelce brings his fiance Taylor Swift to Arrowhead, or if she's wearing a UC jersey. That'd be a huge bump. The Taylor Swift bump would be massive. You know who we haven't even mentioned is the running backs, Tawi Walker and Evan Pryor. I think those are that's going to be a good 1-2 punch. It's just we got to see it, and I guess we're both shying away from making a prediction for tonight. I'm taking the points. I'm taking us plus 6.5. That's for sure. I'm taking us money line. That's even more for sure. So I believe we can do it. I don't know like a score prediction, but like I think we can win. Like that sounds confident, right? I think we can win.
Yeah, I like the over. I think it's like 52.5. Bud Elliott's I keep referring to this, but Bud Elliott all summer has been talking about Nebraska's defense, saying like, why would Cincinnati not score 30 points against this team? Like, the only reason why is if we don't have a good offense. Like, we think we have a better offense. We think it'll be improved. So this is a great time to like just show the world like, hey, we're better this year. I like the over. The like one scenario where I don't see it going over is if like we take a lead early and kind of kill it off. I don't think that's exactly going to happen though, if that makes sense. I'm taking the points, and this is preseason. I'm taking the Bearcats. We're going over. I'm just going to make a prediction. We're going to win 34-27.
Love it. Over and money line.
Wait, is that over?
Crush.
No.
Is it not?
If it's not, I'm going to readjust.
I don't think it is. I don't know. What is that? Quick maths.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. Moving on from Nebraska. Let's talk about the whole season as a whole. First, I want to talk about the roster, and then we'll get into the schedule, kind of break down the whole season. We've been talking about the roster. Is it as simple as like those 4 to 5 guys are our superstars and we're just going to have to figure out the rest, or what? Like, is there anybody else outside of that you're like, I've heard that this guy is performing in practice. I've heard that this guy is going to surprise some people. Is there any of that going on, Lily?
Yeah, and we're setting aside Sorsby, Corleone, et cetera, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's set aside Golday. Like, I think everybody's expecting him to have a huge year. Even McDoom. Let's set him. I'm going to say, I feel like I'm drawing to the wide receiver room here, because if we do reach our peak, I think you kind of need that. You need like that number one receiver with Sorsby that kind of opens up things for Royer, opens up things for Tyree Walker, which could be maybe your answer. I don't know. But I've heard great things about Cyrus Allen. He had a huge year at La Tech a couple years ago, got banged up last year at Texas A&M, and didn't have the year he wanted. But everything you see on the practice reports and hear from coaches and people around the program is that he has been killing it. And he's a smaller, shifty receiver and has the confidence of – I'm not sure there's anybody more confident than him. Just based on, like, I was at the radio show last night, and funny guy, by the way. Gosh, him and Jeff Caldwell are clowns. But Cyrus is always open, and he lets Sorsby know about it after every play. No matter what, he's like, I was open. So that's you need that, though. You need, like, compared to normal human beings, you need receivers to be a little –
absolutely.
Just a little unhinged, a little irrationally confident. And I think we got that with him for sure. So that's my pick for like potential blow up at an important position.
Love it. Love it. I'm going to move on. You know, one guy that we haven't talked about. I mean, what about the offensive line? I mean, the guy I was going to reference is Gavin Gearhart, like captain, Joe Cotton at left tackle.
3-time captain.
Pickup. Yeah. What are we thinking about the O-line?
So I think they should be just as good as last year. I don't think they're going to be elite. I don't think they're going to be bad. Joe Cotton has come in and been as good as advertised, if not better, from what I've heard. He is 6'6", 320. He's huge. He looks the part. Tarantayo we got from Ball State, I think. Yeah, Ball State. Also just gritty, mean, big. And I'm one of those guys that listens to every single offseason interview. I'm one of those guys. So shout out to all the people who post those videos. Tarantayo just sticks out. He just seems like another Gavin Gearhart in terms of leadership. The offensive line just seems so tight to me. And I know you mentioned leadership earlier and culture and how it's just, you know, you almost hear it every year no matter what, right? But like this year really feels a little different, like how often we're hearing it. Nico Palazetti said Gavin Gearhart's the best leader he's ever been around. And I believe him. He's been 3-time captain. He's a center. Like that's who you want to be your leader. These guys, him and Sorsby are recruiting players in the portal. Like a lot of coaches do that themselves and don't trust their players to do it for them or with them. So to me, that says just so much about this team and how tight they are. But it doesn't mean you're going to win. You know, you still got to win. I think it helps in the fine margins, which is been tough for us the last couple of years. So, extra culture, extra leadership, a little better special teams. That might be 1 or 2 wins right there.
Yeah. Definitely hurt us last year. I'm looking at the roster, man, and it's just transfer city. Every skill player is a transfer. I mean, Sorsby transfer, Tawi Walker, Evan Pryor, Cyrus Allen, Caleb Goody, Jeff Caldwell, Joe Royer, Patrick Gerd.
Wow.
And then 3 out of 5 on the offensive line. Literally our entire offense is transfers, which, makes sense. Satterfield's only in his 3rd year. You know what I mean? So, but like, this is our identity now, huh? And then the DB room, the top 5 DBs are transfers.
Yeah.
So
I didn't realize the offense was like that. Holy crap.
Yeah. Every single, the entire offense transfer. That's our identity, Lily. I'm more than okay with that. Like, I mean, you look at some of these schools too. Indiana, obviously, for Sorsby, which is, we own them, right? But
yeah.
Wisconsin, Oklahoma, Tawi Walker, Ohio State, Evan Pryor, obviously Joe Royer, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Cyrus Allen, and then you have some smaller schools. Caleb Goody's from Colorado State, Jeff Caldwell's from Lindenwood, which we learned not in Louisville, Chuck, right? Did we learn that it's not in Louisville? It's a suburb in St. Louis, unless that's we got some comments about that. But this is the way it's going to be.
I'm looking at the offense now. I think we have 3 players on our offense that will be in the rotation that aren't transfers. Manny Covey, who's our 3rd string running back. Barry Jackson, who, by the way, we should have been talking about this before. He was committed to Nebraska. We flipped him.
Oh.
There's no reason for you to remember that, but like the diehards know that Barry Jackson was a Nebraska commit. He's kind of like a shifty slot receiver that hopefully has a breakout this year. He hasn't really gotten many snaps. And then Gavin Grover at tight end, who I think will not have a coming out party this year, but I think he's going to be that number 2 tight end in terms of receptions. So that's 3 guys at the skill positions.
It's crazy. All right, let's go through the schedule. We talked about the roster, talked about Nebraska. We don't need to talk about BG or Northwestern State. Outside of BG actually has Bearcat legend, Bearcat legend's son on the team.
Yeah, TJ Nelson.
Terry Nelson's son. What position? What does he play? Real quick.
He's a DB.
Okay.
And yeah, I think he played at Anderson or something. But that'll be cool for Terry. I've tweeted that he's on the 3. I think he's the 3rd string DB. If that game goes how we think it will be, he should see the field, which would be awesome for him. He's probably, I imagine he grew up a Bearcats fan. If he didn't, then Terry, man, come on.
What are we doing? Up here. What are we doing if he's not a Bearcat fan?
And then Eddie George at the helm, like that. That's cool.
All right, this is my first mortal lock of the year. Bearcats get that done. All right, Northwestern State. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Here's my Northwestern State. Can you tell me what state Northwestern State is in? This is our preview for the game.
They're not Northwest. I'm going to say like Louisiana.
Oh, you knew it.
it. No.
You just had a guess?
I was gonna say Mississippi or something down there. Was it Louisiana?
It's Louisiana. Now, I say things on the podcast that I'm like, I know are correct, but then, it's Louisiana. Yeah, but then
what state is Arrowhead in?
Oh, don't even.
I don't know.
Missouri,
something like that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just knock those 2 as wins, obviously. But then we have a bye, and then we got Kansas on the road in their new stadium. What do you think about this? Is Jalen Daniels, do we think he's bouncing back this year?
He certainly had a good start this past weekend. I remain skeptical. I think this is a coin flip game as much as away games can be coin flips. So when I say a coin flip for an away game, I'm saying like 55-45. I think Kansas will be a little favored, maybe 3.5 points. Between Kansas and Nebraska, I think you got to win one of those if you want to reach your goals this year. I'll say that.
Okay, so split Kansas and Nebraska. That's the goal.
I think so. Because I don't think
Okay.
you're winning at Utah. I know I'm jumping ahead here, but
No. Talk about it as a whole. Like, yeah, I and again, like what do I know? You know what I mean? I want to say that. I want to lead off with that, but like
that's the Big 12. What do we know?
Yeah, that feels like that's like one that like I don't see anything on this schedule where I'm like, man, these guys really scare me. I don't see that at all, actually.
Yeah.
I don't even know who in the Big 12 I would say that about, honestly, outside of Texas Tech, right?
Yeah, I think at Texas Tech would stink. Arizona State away would stink, but that's not exactly like a crowd thing, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, so okay. So we're okay. A coin flip Kansas either way on that. Iowa State. Now you were kind of dogging these two teams, Kansas and Iowa State, when we were on with Dalton Wasserman. But
yeah,
what do you think? You think Iowa State's going to have a down year after having literally the best year in program history last year, which nobody knows?
Of course, they go and beat Kansas State week 1. So look at me. I'm sticking to my guns, Niehaus. I think Iowa State has a step back. I think they go like 7-5. You know, that's not bad. I just don't think a program like Iowa State is built to be good 2 years in a row when they were that good last year. That's just how I look at it. I know they returned their quarterback, and they have their Dante Corleone. His name's Dominique Orange. But I just don't see it. I think they'll lose a couple coin flip games. And I think when Iowa State comes to Cincinnati, that Cincinnati will be favored by more than a field goal. And we should win the game.
Okay. Paint me a picture here. We beat Nebraska.
Oh.
I don't want to just say we're 5-0. You know what I mean? Because like at that point,
for 5-0, we're going 7-0, Niehaus.
That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. And we're heading back to Nippert. Well, just back-to-back weeks at Nippert with Iowa State and UCF, and we're playing UCF, who is bad. What if we start, let's say 7-1?
That's your night game right there.
Or 6. It would be 6-1. Are we talking near top 25, 6-1 with a loss to either Nebraska or Kansas?
I mean, obviously a little unlikely, but I think if we win Nebraska, that we will be top 25 by the time we play Kansas.
Yes.
That's a take. I don't know.
I think that's probably fair. I mean,
the whole world's going to be watching. I think we'll get a lot of respect for that. And then in the next 3 weeks, you know, teams are going to lose and we won't.
Yeah.
That's how it looks.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, how many teams are going to have? I mean, there's more.
It's not a road game, but they watched it. They know it was on the road.
Okay. So what do you think about, let's move on from that. What do you think about UCF?
So one thing I keep saying about our schedule is while we don't face like the teams I deem as truly elite, which is Texas Tech, Arizona State, I'm still keeping Kansas State there. I don't know. So might regret that. But we don't face like that, those truly elite teams, but we also don't have like West Virginia. So the UCF game, paramount. That is the easiest team we'll play. We play them at home. Arizona, paramount. The second easiest team we play, we'll play them at home. I'm marking 4 wins: Bowling Green, Northwestern State, Arizona, UCF. Those are the locks. That's where I'm starting at. If we lose any of those games, something happened. From there, you got to win some coin flips for once. I'm talking Iowa State at home. I'm talking BYU at home. And this is the stuff, Niehaus, that like, if you listen to national podcasts, which unfortunately I do, but I'm here to tell the people who don't have time to do that, that Cincinnati is the only team in the Big 12 that doesn't face a team off of a bye. Like this is a massive a massive thing in football. If you just don't play a fresh team ever all year, it's a big advantage. And then we play Baylor after they play at TCU. That's their biggest rival. They go from at TCU to at Cincinnati. No bye. That is Vegas looks at that as like a pretty big deal for Baylor in a bad way. We have a better chance of winning that game than we should, and Baylor's good. BYU, their quarterback left. He went to Tulane. He got kicked off the team for things. So there's lots of stars aligning before the season starts, in my opinion. But as we saw last year, the Big 12 is the Big 12. So these could be the best teams in the league for all we know.
You got me believing. You got me believing. So essentially, like you said, we got locks and we got toss-ups. Like there's no game where you feel outside of at Utah that you're significantly undermatched or overmatched.
Yeah, and Utah, like I don't think they're going to be sexy, you know? Like it could be an ugly game. Like maybe it's not as big of a lock as it seems, you know? It might just be a 7-point spread like the Nebraska game.
So 10-2 isn't outside the realm of possibility, right? Like I laugh because like I have it's like, Niehaus, do you believe in Satterfield? It's like I don't know, but
we'll find out this year.
But like this is such a favorable schedule, right? Like if he was ever going to get it done with the team, with the schedule, with the year, it's this year, right? Like Sorsby came back, Royer came back, Corleone came back. Like you got good transfers. You absolutely overhauled your wide receiving core, which we think was a disaster last year. The schedule's not that difficult. We're not playing anyone off of a bye.
Our buys are spread out perfectly.
You have the whole world watching week 1 with a chance to beat a Big Ten opponent.
I don't see any excuses here, Niehaus.
This is the year. This is the year. It is. And you know what's funny? I said that exact same sentence last year, preseason of basketball. And look how that got us. And here we go.
We'll be saying that in about a month too, right?
Yeah, here we go again. And you know what? We'll find out tonight. You know what? I'm doing the show with Chuck tonight, the post-game show. And I might burn it all down. That's the funniest part of this. You know what I mean? But as of right now,
I can already hear it.
Yeah, as of right now, like I'm excited. You know what I mean? So I like the schedule. Anything else stick out to you? Because we're going a little long. So like I'll just rattle like UCF at OK State. Like you think that those are obviously favorable. Baylor, Sawyer Robertson's a stud. Outside of that, like what about Baylor? And then obviously we talked about at Utah. You talked about Arizona. We can go into BYU a little bit and then TCU. But first off, start with Baylor.
There's a pretty good chance that Baylor is the third best team on our schedule. And we get them on that spot like I was talking about, like a pretty good advantage. I think we should win that game. Right now, like at this point in time, I think we should win that game. I think we'll be favored. Maybe not by much, but I think we'll be favored. And then Utah, you know, let's say 7-point underdogs, maybe a little more. But Oklahoma State away is... I'm pretty out on Gundy in this era of college football. I know he survived and got some support, but they're doing that whole or thing at quarterback right now, and that's a red flag to me. Like, pick your guy. Come on. And then his depth chart has like 20 ors. Like, I'm just not buying that team right now. And I know it's on the road, but by week 8, if they stink, it's not going to be a great environment. And I already talked about Arizona. Win that game. BYU. I think BYU's good, but they're going to have a true freshman quarterback unless he loses the job. If he loses the job, is that really a big game? Like, they're traveling across the country, coming here. We saw what Arizona State looked like. I know they didn't have their quarterback, but they were rusty. That flight, those long flights are brutal. And then the finale at TCU. They might be the third best team on our schedule if it's not Baylor. They have talent, but we've seen Sonny Dykes teams down the stretch just fade. There's a very good possibility they're out of it and they don't care. So
yeah,
you can really visualize how a great Cincinnati season would happen this year. Doesn't mean it will, but I said our ceiling. I was on a Texas Tech podcast last night, and I said our realistic ceiling was 9-3. I'm sticking with that. I do think 10-2 is possible.
Mm-hmm.
But I think our realistic ceiling is 9-3, and I think our realistic floor is 5-7. Just because I think those 4 locks are pretty close to locks.
Mm-hmm. Let me say this: I love the Big 12. Like, I love this.
Great.
This is awesome. Like, this is how because I've had and I don't ever think I've said it on the podcast. Maybe I did last year a little bit, but I've had my issues with college football just in general, like the same teams every single year dominating, getting the best play. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? It's not, and you can say the same thing for basketball to an extent, but basketball, March Madness is such a toss up. It's whatever. Anyway, the Big 12 is awesome in the fact that here we are saying, oh, we can go, possibly 9-3, possibly 10-2. Whereas if you were to listen to other podcasts of other teams, they see Cincinnati and they're like, that's an easy win. We don't even need to talk about that. You know what I mean? Nobody sees Cincinnati as a threat. And I'm sure that everybody else is as high on their teams as we are on us, on ours.
Yep.
And I love the conference, and I'm very excited for this football season. And I just think that
the land of opportunity.
It is. And I think that our guys should have a chip on their shoulder, and they should go out and show it tonight and start off the season strong with a win against Nebraska. And then truly after that, I think we might put the league on notice. I think people might have their takes back. Every single national podcast I listened to had us going under 6.5. Who knows? I think we have some of the right guys, and it's just going to be a matter of filling out the rest of the roster, to complement that top end talent. Because I do think we do have that top end talent. So I love the Big 12 and the right that, we see some of these teams and they probably see us and are like, we're saying the same things about each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So wrap up your season thoughts, Lily.
I got the Big 12 angle. It just is resonating with me. I just think for Cincinnati fans, we're so new to this. In the American, it's just we should win every year. But I think we really just got to start watching more Big 12 football. This is just an awesome league. If we were in any other power conference, ACC is a little different, but Big 10 or SEC. I mean, think about those leagues and the amount of fans that participate in those leagues every year. Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Missouri, Mississippi State, Kentucky. There's so many teams that going into each season, Arkansas recently, Auburn recently,
Rutgers,
that just Rutgers,
Purdue, Northwestern, Purdue.
They don't
Indiana.
have the off season of, and it's funny because Indiana, but point stands though. Those fans at this point of the year, they can't dream. The league is set up in a way where they can't dream. Now I know the expanded playoff has led to an Indiana, and it will continue to lead to, somebody could do it again this year. It could be Illinois. It could be Minnesota one year. That's the beauty of this. But with the Big 12, there's 10 teams every year.
Yeah. Arizona State was picked last. Yeah. Maybe we're the Arizona State of this year. Yeah. That's the good part is we could
That's the thing. Why not? We have certain things. We've got continuity at important positions. We've got star power at important positions. It's a possibility. And it just stinks for a lot of those fans that they never get to feel this is why I love the Big 12 so much. As we've gotten our butts kicked the entire time we've been in the conference. Yeah. But
But I do believe that this is the best team we've had under Satterfield. It's just a matter of
Better be
winning, win. Yeah, let's why not us? Why not us? And hopefully we don't find that out tonight. You know what I mean? So I think that wraps it up. 45 minutes went through the season. Well, give me your record and then just overall and let's call it a day.
I'll go 8-4.
Okay.
Feeling good.
I'll go 9-3. You know what? Because you know why? You know why? There's zero repercussions if I'm wrong. So let's
surely
say
no
9-3.
Nebraska podcast will find that.
If we lose by 30 tonight, this idiot thought they were going 9-3. All right, that's it, man. I'll be on tonight with Chuck for the post-game show. I think we're gonna do a pregame spaces on Twitter. So a lot of content coming to you tonight. Hopefully the Cats get it done. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you tune in tonight as well. See ya.